Welcome to On Couch
with Kelly and Clint Harp.
Okay, episode number 11, which is funny because 2 weeks ago we were like, episode number 9, high five, and one more, it's 10. We do episode 10, we don't even mention it the whole time.
We didn't even think about it.
No.
Whoops.
I think there's like a childhood thing there. So I know we probably could dig. I know. It's like just by proximity, by being around you. I feel like I'm picking up on that therapy thing. All right, this week we want to talk about the troops. What does it mean to support the troops? We say this all the time. And locally we had something happen, or it's rumored to be happening with a local hero, Doris Miller, and his name being put on a USS aircraft carrier. And it's supposed to be on there. They're talking about removing it for Trump. And that's just raised a lot of other discussions and what does it really mean to support the troops, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to get into that. First, though, it's hot as hail.
Climate change.
It is
We're
hot.
experiencing climate change down here. I mean, it's always been hot. It is wildly hot. It was a 107 yesterday.
Yes.
107.
Oh, Linus, he's not happy about being back there. That's all right. He'll be okay.
Little guy.
Yeah. It's hot.
It's so hot, and our grass is all dead. And that's what all of us in Waco are talking about. Like everyone, all of our friends are like, my grass is dead. Your grass is dead. All of our grass.
And it's actually really funny because I think we're saying it as like a barometer of like, am I irresponsible
Everybody
here?
has stopped watering because you just can't.
And you're like, how's your grass? It's not good, scorched. Oh, okay. Thank you, because mine is too. I stopped watering it. Did you? Yeah. Oh, I did. Like it's crazy, but it's also all tied into data centers.
Yeah.
We're all like waking up to the realities that water is being siphoned out at an alarming rate.
Our water bills are going up.
Bills.
We're just like, why are we watering these yards like this? You know, just to stay green. What's the point of that? Is that a good use of water? You know, all of that.
Right. And then electric bills.
Oh my God.
I mean, like it's all like tied in together, and I think that we're all really feeling that, which is, I will say, kind of the precipice of change.
It is. And we're wondering if you guys are feeling that where you are. And it really reminds me of like, I feel like we are kind of going back to some of our animal selves where we're like, things are changing, danger, like, are things okay? You know? Which I think we might need to get in touch with because things are changing. We are in danger and we need to make some changes.
And things need to change. And often it doesn't happen until we actually feel it. And I think people are starting to go, wait, my electric bill is like, what is up?
Right.
I always keep it at this temperature. Why now? And my water bill is this high. And I don't know if you've heard this or not, but like I keep hearing reporting that like this year's El Nino, which I cannot from a real educated like place talk about. I just believe it has something to do with weather patterns and everything.
I think that's right. Let's stop there.
Yeah, let's stop there. But apparently this is supposed to be the worst. Like it's supposed to be one of the strongest and whatever. And so like it has to do with temperatures of water and hurricane season and all these different things. And so a lot of people, you know, with all of our computers, they're now doing all these different like mapping models and whatnot with weather systems, and they're like, it's So,
well, it's like at the end of this week, it might get down to like 97. Not even joking. That's a 10-degree difference.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Hang in there, folks.
Send us your thoughts and prayers.
That's right. Yeah, well, and it's all across the South. People are feeling this heat, and I think it's just again, it's like. It's no fun when you don't feel like anybody's doing anything about it. When we're like, oh, the Paris Accord, who cares? Climate change, it's not real.
Functional government, it's part of it. You know, like, we're doing all these things, you know, crazy stuff. And we can't deal with what's actually happening. So it's concerning. It's concerning.
So hang in there, stay cool. Woo. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Okay. The other morning I woke up, and it was actually on my phone, but then we got this as well. This is a picture of local hero Doris Miller. This is the memorial to him just off the banks of the Brazos River, downtown Waco. I've run by it a million times. It's on my path, and on purpose. I love running by this statue. And he, of course, was portrayed by Cuba Gooding Jr. In the movie Pearl Harbor with Ben Affleck back in the Affleck, whatever, back in the day. And he was on a battleship in Pearl Harbor on the day of the attack. And of course, Dory Miller, as his friends and family call him Dory, was a black man. And back then, the Navy was segregated. And so he was not allowed to fight like the rest of the white men on his ship. Note that he was the boxing champ. Did you know that?
Just the other day I found that out. Yeah, he was a boxing champ. Yeah. And he was given the position of cook. He wasn't even trained on any of the anti-aircraft.
Was not even trained on the guns, any guns, like aircraft, like just, like we're not just like these guns, but also like the big deck guns and stuff. So when the bombs started dropping, he ran up from his station below deck, and first he was dragging his fellow soldiers to safety, wounded soldiers who had been shot or hurt, shrapnel, whatever it is, and then he grabbed a deck gun and started firing back, which one that he wasn't trained on how to use.
Right. So he's credited with firing the first shot from the American side of World War II.
That's right.
So huge deal, huge hometown hero. Several years ago, Waco was able to get this monument, which was funded. It was like, just looked it up, it's like $2.7 million were raised for this incredible monument. So if you come to Waco, definitely go see it. It's right on the banks of the Brazos, right by the suspension bridge. And also we were going to say, in case, I know a lot of people come down here, don't come now. It's too hot.
It's too hot.
But if you come this fall, also a lot of people don't realize that here in Texas, we also have the National Museum of the Pacific Theater of World War II.
Pacific War, yeah.
And it's in Fredericksburg, which is in the Hill Country, maybe like 3 hours away.
Yeah, it's just west of Austin.
Yes. So that's a great little trip to come see.
And it's amazing. I've been there multiple times, class trips with the kids and stuff, and we went as a family one time.
Yeah, we did.
It's incredible.
It is.
It's so well done.
Right.
I mean, it is absolutely amazing.
And the
worth your time.
reason that it's there is because Admiral Nimitz, who actually ended up awarding the Navy Cross to Dory Miller, he was from Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
So
and there's a wonderful picture of Admiral Nimitz bestowing that honor upon Doris Miller on the boat. I mean, it's incredible. And I mean, especially back then, you have a white man giving that to a black man. That shouldn't be a big deal,
but it was back then. And turns out it's a big deal now.
Apparently so.
Yes, but so the reason that we're bringing up Dory Miller is because, well, I did want to say that later in the war he was killed, actually.
Only a couple years later, actually, in Japan.
Yeah. So, but he still, of course, his family and community, people around here still remember him, and he has family and everything here. So he's just a very important figure to our community. And you may have seen in the headlines this week.
Yeah, that now it's being discussed that instead of putting Doris Miller's name on the boat,
on an aircraft carrier,
on an aircraft carrier,
for years we have thought that
it's going to be Doris Miller's name, and it's being built right now.
Right.
And instead, they're now talking about putting Trump's name on there, and they even use the words, honoring Trump by putting his name on this. And I'm like, what is there to honor, first of all?
And you thought we were angry before.
Whoa, Lord.
It's just indicative of this administration and indicative of how bad we can be. I don't even, just how disrespectful this country can be.
That's right.
And some of the worst of the worst of our behaviors. And it's so disrespectful. It is so disgusting, I would say. And in my opinion, it's indicative of the way that this administration treats the troops. And that's what we wanted to talk about, because there's one party in this country that often says, oh, but we support the troops. In fact, that was literally just said because Lindsey Graham, who we talked about, passed away several weeks ago at this point. He was a senator from South Carolina, and then his sister just took over for him, which was very strange.
They just swapped him out.
What? Like if your sibling is a doctor and passes away, you don't just go take over their practice. Like it's not normal, and she was not qualified for it, just even as the interim. But I don't live in South Carolina, but it affects all of us anyway. So that happened, and now she's running for his seat.
Right.
And she was in a debate, and she was asked about
foreign relations.
Just just a foreign relations type of question, and she was like, "I don't really know much about foreign relations, but I support the troops."
It's like.
So
what?
That also really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
It's just, I just want to say that's not okay. That's really inappropriate, and it's so disrespectful to all of us, and especially to the troops.
Yep.
But you know what? Why does she say that? Because she thinks if she just says, I support the troops,
there it is.
People will just go, oh, okay, that's great.
Yep. I mean, and her brother was famously quoted as saying on a talk show just weeks before he died in July of this summer, of saying, I'm going back to South Carolina to tell all of our, my constituents back in South Carolina, they need to send their sons and daughters to the Middle East. Why, Lindsay? Why? For what war?
For a war that is yet to be explained to us exactly
because
why
there is no
there.
explanation, or the explanation is one they definitely don't want us to hear, which is he is being controlled by people that actually want a war to happen and want some sort of conflict for their own general purposes, and he's doing it. I mean, that's my own theory, but I'm just saying there isn't a good reason.
Because if you don't explain it, we're at the point where this administration doesn't even respect us enough to explain, or think that they have to explain what we are doing in the Middle East right now, what our troops, our sons and daughters are doing there.
Yeah.
And, there will always be disagreements about, getting into a conflict, engaging in a conflict. Some people will think it's justified. Some people will think that it's not justified, right? And we have that in our past. And yet we are at a step much further than that, where it is not even being explained to us why we are there and what the purposes are, and when we will withdraw. And it's just back and forth and back and forth. And that is disrespectful.
Well, and even if it's explained, we still have, checks and balances, and we have systems in place to make sure that if we take the, extraordinary step of sending human lives into harm's way, that we do it with everybody's agreement, with congressional approval, et cetera, et cetera. Like for him to just, we're just going, this is what we're doing.
And of course that's happened multiple times, but which a lot of people disagree with.
Yes.
But it was at least explained.
Right.
What was happening and why.
Right. And you're talking about...
And we allowed that to go on for so long.
Yes.
And now we're at the stage where it's not even explained, which is just like, oh, just trust me.
Well, and you brought up...
That's not a democracy.
You brought up the fact earlier that, Trump famously said,
ran on...
I'm not going to get us into any new wars.
That's right. If you vote, he literally said, we all remember it over and over again, if you vote for Kamala, she's going to get your sons and daughters into a conflict. And here we are. And that is when we talk about, we all have to adult. We have to all grow up and adult. And that means if you voted for someone and I know there are a lot of people who voted because they agreed with that stance. Well, what are we going to do now? And we talk about this. We talk about being informed voters. And then making sure that we hold our elected officials accountable. Because I don't care what party you're from. If I vote for you because of this and then you don't do it, or you do the opposite, that's on me. That's my voice. That's my vote. And it's my responsibility. And what's going on, I don't know whether people really realize it, people that voted for the Republican Party and for this administration, but also all of your senators and your Congress people are not saying anything either.
That's right.
We don't live in a dictatorship as much as some people may want us to. We are supposed to have checks and balances, like you said, but nobody on that side will say anything. And it's very disturbing.
It's very disturbing. Let's back the tape up real quick. And let's talk about our own personal experience.
Yes.
We have family who were in the military. You have a much more dramatic story than mine, for sure. But my grandfather, the day after, or the first day after Pearl Harbor that he could go to the Naval Recruitment Center, showed up on the front step and said, "Sign me up." Soon as Pearl Harbor happened. And he was a signalman in the Navy, and he was in the battle, the invasion of Sicily. Had a lot of amazing stories, and was very brave. And I was always brought up with this idea that that was like the ultimate sacrifice, because you are literally putting your life, you're laying it down before you even go. Like, by signing up, you're saying, I'm willing to die for this country, and this country is not
ideals of this country, and
for the people. Because this country is not just land and mountains and rivers, and it's people.
Right.
And you're saying, everybody around me is worth it. Your freedoms are worth it. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do what.
Life for this.
And that always meant so much to me. That was an amazing thing that he did. In my mind, my grandmother supported the troops the most that she possibly could by working for and supporting a president like Jimmy Carter, who the Carter Center now, to this day, talks about how proud they are that not a single bullet was fired in conflict. No bombs were dropped. There were no military, theaters going on when, with the U.S. when he was president, because he was like, peace. That's honoring the troops. Like, you're willing to say, I'm going to give up these amount of years of my life, however long that is, and I'm going to possibly be asked to die for my country. My job to honor that commitment is to make sure you don't have to go and do that.
Right, unless it's really warranted.
No, of course, that's what I'm saying. Like my job is to use diplomacy. Is to use every single ounce of conflict resolution within my body to try and make sure that I keep those people who have said, I will die for this country, out of a war. If we have to get to that, then we get to that. But that, to me, is honoring the troops. That is supporting the troops, making sure also when they come home, how are they taken care of? And when they're over there, what are the conditions they're living in? So anyways, that was my experience. Your experience. Your grandfather was in World War II, so please.
Yes. No, I just think a lot of people our age had grandparents or grandfathers mainly that were in World War II, and my grandfather as well was in the invasion of Normandy on D-Day, actually, and was blown up by a landmine and didn't actually make it to France. His boat. He was like literally up in the air and came down in the water, and like it's a total miracle that he lived, and one, didn't drown, but two, he sustained really serious injuries, had to go back to England.
He was picked up by another boat. Right.
And taken to a hospital boat and then taken back to England. And, I mean, they didn't know if he would ever walk or ever,
crazy. And this is a guy who could have gone and played football. At the University of Oklahoma. I mean, it's like there's a lot there.
Serious sacrifice.
Yes.
Serious sacrifice. And
just a young man with his very life in front of him.
That's right.
Like all the others.
Absolutely. And, made that sacrifice for our country. I mean, it's truly incredible. And I always loved growing up hearing all his stories of being in England and, and all of that. So, and then also as our children have gotten older, we have a lot of like their classmates and people that they know have chosen after high school to go into the military. So that's been a big exposure for us. And I know it ended up that like both of our hairdressers actually end up having either yours is a veteran. Mine, her child just went into the armed forces. So I go and I'm like, okay, so graduated. Okay, so y'all took him here. Okay, where is he now? And like keeping up with all of that. And just, we have friends that we just ran into on our walk the other day. That we didn't realize it, but their child had gone into the military. So then he was going to be back for the first time. And, just hearing all about that. So it just feels very personal. And again, one of the themes I think of this podcast that we talk about is just all the intersections of everything. But I think a lot of people maybe don't have all those touch points. Maybe they have it in their family, but if you don't have touch points of people in the military right now in lots of different capacities of the military, then you may not realize, we don't have then the gift of realizing. And if you're, and this is a long history, we should do a whole podcast on this, but, a lot of us that live, if you live like in the suburbs, you might just be really removed from a lot of real life. And that was, of course, done on purpose. Anyway, whole other thing. But I think that often when we are separated, we don't have as much of the impact of what's really going on us. And we have been very lucky to be involved in our community, increasingly so as our children have gone to public school. But we know people who are friends with Doris Miller's family. And so it means something even more. It means something to us just being from Waco, enjoying the monument so much, but also we are connected, to these families. And it's serious to us. It's so disrespectful. And I feel embarrassed that in a way, that the administration of our country would just be like, oh, maybe we'll just put my name on it. I mean, it's just
and that's what we want to get to next is like we're talking about putting the name of a man on the ship
who never even served in the military.
First of all, he dodged the draft.
He had bone spurs.
Some people have said they need to name it USS Bone Spur. I just died on that one.
And if you have bone spurs,
I've got an arthritic bone spur in my vertebrae, girl. I mean, I get it.
And I know there are people who couldn't serve that wanted to, so I'm not making fun of that in any way. But my God, this is.
I know. Anyways, he has made fun of our troops.
Well, and that was in Trump 1.0. And then we re-voted him into office after he had said that. How is that supporting our troops?
Literally calling them losers and suckers. That he doesn't like, the one going to the grave sites. Why? They're dead. They're losers. They're suckers. Just deplorable things.
The way he treated John McCain.
That was going to say next. John McCain.
I never voted and never would, frankly, vote for John McCain, though I have a lot of respect for him as a person.
What?
I feel like
that should be enough.
We have forgotten what went on and what he said about
He was a prisoner of war.
I know.
For a long time. We're not talking about, a couple days stay in the cage.
We could talk about all about that. No, but remember his father was like an admiral.
Oh, right.
They wanted to trade him because his father was so high up. And he said no.
Oh, my gosh, that's right.
I mean, you know what I mean? I disagreed with him and his daughter really makes me mad. but I would never disrespect
Absolutely
all of that he did. And I do believe he actually cared about this country. No, we disagree disagreed on, and I would have liked to have a conversation with him. I probably would have changed his mind. But I'm just saying, I would never dream to say anything close to what Donald Trump has said about him. It's so not okay.
So this idea that going to the ballpark and taking your hat off and standing up and putting your hand on your heart and singing the national anthem, and on July 4th, standing out in your front yard for the parade and waving a little tiny American flag and putting flags in your yard.
All great things if you want to do them.
Those are wonderful things. But this idea that is what means you support the troops.
Right. And if you don't do that, you don't support the troops.
Yes.
Right.
Like, we are missing the boat here, folks. Like, that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to actually supporting the troops.
Yeah.
Like, by all means, stand up, sing till your lungs fall out. Like, you know, put your hand on your heart, take your hat off. All that, like, all that's all great. And I agree. Like, those are wonderful things to show respect and to respect the flag, you know, and all these different things. Like, great. Okay. But that does not mean you support the troops.
Right.
That means that you're being respectful.
Right.
And that I don't know, maybe you are really appreciative of what they've done or
you
whatever.
Love July
but
4th.
Yeah, and you really love July 4th. Those are great things,
right.
But that's not all of it.
Well, and why is it that the people that maybe don't like July 4th or that choose like Colin Kaepernick, why are they the enemy instead of the people disrespecting the actual troops or disrespecting all of us, but not even telling us why our troops are in a country in the first place?
That's exactly
the real disrespect.
Yes.
And I just have to believe that we can get on the same page around this.
Yeah,
I have to believe it.
And that was going to be something I had thought about this the other day when we first started talking about this, was that, like, you know, Colin Kaepernick, and we already brought him up last week, but he kneels on the sideline during the national anthem in protest of something that is a huge problem in this country, police brutality towards the black community, period. That's it,
and
right?
And I just want to say, if you are disagreeing with us, you don't understand.
That's right, period.
You can understand police brutality towards the black community in a couple of maybe different ways, or like, you know, like see different solutions there or whatever, but you cannot disagree with statistics. Okay.
Yes.
And a whole community that is telling us this.
Yes.
That grew. I mean, like, the modern day police force grew out of slave catchers in this country. Okay. So, like, and I'm not downing police. I mean, the sacrifice and the gifts that they give are really important too. The two can coexist.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of people say. But we're just saying, making, if you just think Colin Kaepernick and people talking about police brutality are the problem, you just want them to be quiet about something that we know we have statistics on, and that's not fair. It's
not fair. And what I wanted to say was that, like, our grandfathers, our other relatives who have been in the military, they didn't serve so that you would be forced to stand up at a baseball game and sing the anthem.
That's right.
That's like Hitler stuff,
right?
Where you're like, oh, we have to stand this way.
Right.
We do that out of respect, and we choose to do that, and that's great and all that. That's not why they died on Omaha Beach.
Right.
They died so that actually Colin Kaepernick would have the freedom to say, I don't want to stand right now because my people are dying. People with the same skin color as me are being murdered in the streets, and it's not right. And no one's doing anything about it. That's why they died. They died so that we have this country where we can express what we're frustrated with, and we can stand up against tyrants.
That's right. Well, those were the tyrants that they were fighting against, the fascist tyrants.
Yes.
That only wanted one religion.
Yes.
Only wanted one way of being. You know, that sounds great, guys, when it's your way of being or your religion. But we've got to adult and grow up and realize, oh, this might sound fine to me, but one day it's not going to be what I want. One day I'm going to be on the chopping block.
So here's the question. Here we go.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. This is what we were talking about before. Why in the hell did we know in 2016 Why did we know? Why did so many other of us know that Trump was going to put our troops in harm's way? We knew it because he's a madman, because he's insane, he's disrespectful. Why did we know that I would not be supporting the troops by voting for someone like him? Because he cannot be trusted.
No.
He cannot be trusted with the nuclear codes.
With a woman, with
children.
Right.
I knew in my bones.
I know.
That is not going to be supporting the troops. So why did we know that?
I know.
And how are you saying you support the troops when you continue to give someone like that power?
I know. And I think this is the big this is the big question we're asking right now. And I know so many people right now feel very much like we did. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult because we want to yell, and scream. And we need to on our own, by ourselves or on podcasts, whatever. We do need to get that frustration out. And yet some people did know. And maybe it's because they didn't want to know, and I have to think back to, George Floyd's murder in 2020. And, I had voted for Obama. I had done a lot of work, but not enough. I didn't realize how little I had done as well. And then when I watched him die like that in the streets, and he had a criminal record. I think he was on, drugs. I know it was some kind of drug. All of that. He still didn't deserve to die in the streets, and that was not the way that even in the, that police are supposed to treat someone.
He was executed in the street.
That's right.
I mean, that's right. Never okay.
We can't. Yeah. Anyway, it took me seeing that to wake up to even more. And I just, that's what I have to go back to, is I too have had to grow and learn. And that's why I keep going back to, and I know we keep going back to, we've got to adult. And what does it mean to adult? It means to grow and learn, to keep growing and learning.
Yeah.
I cannot tell people, though I would like to, how to grow and learn. I'd love to just be in charge and tell everyone. I'm an oldest sister. I'm sure that I can just figure it all out for all of us. But I'm joking.
Talk about that for a minute?
I know. You get a little tired of it sometimes. That's another podcast. I'm just right about it. So if you just do. But anyway, okay. We can't tell everyone how to grow and learn. You must do that work on your own, but you can't stop the work. Because that's what we're seeing.
Yep.
That's what we're seeing. And it really, really, really sucks. And frankly, I want to say is even embarrassing when you realize what you've missed.
Yeah.
And I have felt that. And anyone worth their salt will admit that they felt that and noticed it. And the reality is we really hurt each other when we miss things. And also we miss things. We're human and we miss things a lot. And it really sucks. And so I think a lot of us are dancing that dance of being very frustrated with our fellow countrymen and very angry. And also hoping that we can all do some work and help them to say, I made a mistake. And to all learn and grow together, because we have a lot of work to do.
And I think we just need to stop making the phrase, I would call it, or whatever, critical thinking, turning that into a bad word.
Bad phrase, I know.
I love it when you laugh like that.
Well, because I can't take it. It's like, even in our higher learning, we're like, as long as I want our children to get degrees, I just don't want them to critically think. If it's a book that's going to make them critically think, Ken Paxton doesn't want it.
Oh, God. So we have to critically think about these issues. That if you're going to hire someone who is clearly unstable, clearly selfish, clearly leaning towards a dictator way of ruling, what do you expect to happen with these troops that you, quote unquote, support? And I'm not saying that people in their hearts don't have this love and respect. I get that, but really supporting them.
I really think a lot of people voted for Trump in part because he said he would not get the troops into these conflicts.
However, he is a habitual liar.
I know. And I guess some people needed to get back on that merry-go-round that we're now all on. And
so, but now, okay. There are people that support him who are just as unstable that are in the ranks. So if he dies or he does not run in 2028, like is being rumored, he probably will try if he still has a breath in his lungs, I don't know how many he has currently, but anyways, Vance, all these other, Rubio, whoever, I don't trust them either.
No.
Because they supported a madman. So I have to critically think if somebody's judgment told them to support and trust and honor and rip the names of real heroes off of boats and put his name on there, then I cannot believe in my heart that they, when it comes time, are going to support the troops.
That's right.
That they are going to support.
It's like, I think what you're saying is like, please, do we all see this, and can we all acknowledge that we learned the lesson? Like,
please.
And I know that I imagine a lot of our fellow citizens that have been Republican their whole life are horrified. But it's like, can you guys please just move on from horrified to ripping off the Band-Aid and voting for a Democrat?
Please.
Because we've only got two parties, really. And we can work on that later, and people I'm sure are.
Yes, great.
But right now,
yes,
haven't we seen enough?
We have seen enough. In Texas, we have been under Republican rule for 30 years. We've seen enough.
And guess what Greg Abbott is running on? We got to have change.
Yeah, we got to fix all the problems.
Right.
You made them, you idiot. Yes. It's just absolutely absurd.
It really is. I mean, we were just sitting with Vicki Goodwin running for lieutenant governor against Dan Patrick.
Who's another just
bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel.
And I've got to tell y'all, there's nothing, she's not even controversial. Like, she's not crazy.
No.
She's not.
Very stable. I told her this, and I don't think she watches any of this person's shows, but I was like, you remind me of Allison Janney.
Oh, yeah, she's together.
I mean, just commands a presence. Like, she's great.
I just hope that you guys will join, that we can all join together in just not being committed to one party.
Yes.
Not because this is what happens. If they can convince you that to be a good person, you can only ever vote for one person. I mean, one party. If to be a good person, to be a smart person, to be a business person, to whatever the things they've convinced you guys, that's not true.
Yeah.
If they can do that, then they can vote in a madman, and we can be in this situation where something that we all is so sacred to. I have to believe, and I was just telling you this the other day, I will die on this hill. I believe that most Americans, if they had a neighbor that was a military family, they would do anything for that family. I absolutely believe that. And yet, some of us are struggling to really look into the candidates that we are voting for. And I hope that we have crossed that threshold, and enough of us have said, I really have to look into all the candidates here, because this is too much.
If you're more obsessed with saying Merry Christmas, than making sure that the troops are safe and taken care of.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten into the fact that they're jumping off the boats and the food's horrible. We're out of time. We got to wrap it up. But
disturbing. I just want to give that a second. It's so upsetting what's going on. And then,
it's horrible.
And then our commander in chief, our president, lied about it. When he was asked, he was like, "No, that's not happening."
Yep.
That's so wrong.
It's absolutely wrong.
We've crossed the threshold.
Yep.
Please vote November. Bye.
Exactly. Really not much more to say. This is the most we've laughed the whole time.
Oh.
Look, you pick on Doris Miller, you have picked the wrong fight. We are pissed. Do not touch that man or his name. I am very upset about this, and thankful that a video that I put up on Instagram has gotten almost 2 million views, because that tells me a lot of people are upset about it.
Absolutely, as it should be.
Yes, and I think that is even crossing party lines.
Yes,
people are like, whoa, wait a second.
Not with the troops. I hope so. And I know that was a big thing we talked about too, is that as white people, we can often say, oh, but this is a black man. Like this is something for the black community. Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, it's not. They've been fighting this fight for so long, and this is a fight for all of us. And we need to be speaking up as well, so that we're not giving the message of, oh, this is about you guys. Oh, no, it's not. This is about all of us.
Support the troops in November, this November, and vote Democrat. I'm serious.
Maybe we'll have other choices in the future. I certainly hope so.
One day.
But the Republicans, maybe people are going, oh, I don't like Trump, but what about my representative? Your representative isn't saying anything. Yeah. None of them from that party.
They're letting him do whatever he wants and just starting wars.
I wish it were different. I sure do, but it's not.
But it's not. So, okay. Have a great week.
Have a great week, guys.
Or weekend or whatever.
Like, subscribe, comment.
Oh yeah, all that, whatever. If you do, great. If no, I don't care at this point. I do. I'm kidding. Please rate, review, subscribe. Yeah. Thank you so much. We will see you next week. I need to go on a walk or run or something. Thank you.
I need a drink.
Please vote. Bye.